So we were given the task to explore this site, PBS LearningMedia, with an emphasis on California, I guess. Find a lesson that is based on a standard and examine both the activity and its assessment, and think about how the lesson and its assessment offer an engaging, valid, and creative approach for the intended learners as well for the teacher. So for here, I decided to browse standards and choose the ISTE nets for students, which is what our school uses. Further filtering included grade 9 because I teach grade 9, and I decided to go with an effort from the arts. I chose the first one, shapes that make structures strong. I work a lot with geometric design, and it's a subject that's of great interest to me. So in the lesson, went through, and the idea is to emphasize under tension that different geometric shapes have different supportive and structural qualities and abilities. And so the objectives are appropriate, bringing in fields such as architecture, physics, and as well as geometry with respect to the design of the shapes. It's nice that it's sort of a cross-curricular arts and science, sort of a STEAM type of project. This would be great to, looking at this, I expect there to be building. I expect there to be a lot of hands-on activity. I expect there to be a lot of reflection. So it's largely targeted at middle school students, and suggested time is about 3 periods. And so they break it in the lesson into 3 parts. Part 1 focuses on compression and tension, and there's a wonderful tactile effort at which the students engage and try to explore the concept of tension by by standing shoulder to shoulder and like leaning their weight against each other, and it's pretty good. It does get into, we have a nice little formative assessment piece where they are asked to describe what they feel, where they feel it. And for tactile learners, this would be great to begin to model the idea of using shapes for structural integrity. And then we have and they have multimedia elements, triangles and arches and architecture. So we get to see some supporting materials like that, and they can emulate some of the geometry that they're exploring in their effort. Then they do a hands-on activity in groups. If supplies are short, you find that teamwork is productive in your class. And there's other elements of learning that could be emphasized here with a rubric in terms of problem solving, in terms of communication, that would be very, very topical in this case. And so they do have a chance to put their learning to test, so to speak, with respect to what shapes are being used and how do those shapes work or not work. They go into, they watch a video that focuses their learning towards triangles, which is kind of one of the objectives. And then there's also a similar element in part 2 where they do a very similar approach and scaffold it to reinforce the concept of arches. And then it's done again for domes. So the assessment, I do have a mild concern about it because really it's just a class discussion. So I think the way it's presented, it seems to have a formative assessment style for a summative assessment. But have each child draw each of the shapes and then use arrows to show the direction of tension and compression when a load is on that shape. I really think that there would be great value in having a self-reflection component where students are able to identify where they obtain the learning. At what point in the lesson were they able to reach a respectable level of understanding for themselves and have some sort of like a metacognitive task to go back and identify, hey, how did I make this connection? Why was this connection valuable for me? And that would give students a portfolio opportunity to say, hey, and identify patterns in how they learn. And that was my activity. It was an activity. Thank you very much.